I see recording too, bro.
All right, let's go.
Blanco, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's good with it, bro? I just arrived into Tucson real quick.
I saw you
I
live
never
earlier.
catch you guys.
Okay, well, we're gonna get this going. You guys ready?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Okay. Let me know when, Roll.
Let's go. We're good.
Okay. We're here today with an actor extraordinaire, executive producer of the Cobra Kai show, Mr. Caleeb Pinkett is in the building. And like no other, a friend of the channel, a friend of the Convicts Perspective channel. And man, we're here just to bring you some of that pop culture, to chop it up, man, to let you know what's going on out there. Hey, we're going to take it from the 80s, 90s, and on to the future era. What's up, man? Without further introduction, put yourself out there, Mr. Pinkett. How you doing, brother?
Man, listen, I cannot complain. It's an honor and pleasure to be here with y'all tonight. You know what I mean?
For us as well, sir.
I love that bass. I love that bass lane, bro.
Yeah.
Man.
Absolutely,
love, brother.
We got Flacco tipping in from some undisclosed airport. We know how he does it. He's the traveling man, the historian himself. And we got Rojo in the building, most definitely. And I'm right here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, I don't go too far from the stub, but we all know how the gun does it. Bang, bang. Anyways, man, Mr. Pinkett, so what's going on out there, brother? What's going on out there in LA, big city of LA?
Man, listen, a whole lot of shit right now. Like the industry is opening back up again. You know, this COVID stuff, we're getting to the tail end. Everybody's getting vaccinated and we're able to be back on set. We're able to start shooting again. All the projects are starting to roll. So I'm glad, you know what I mean? La bolsita está llena.
Oh,
That's right.
Saca la bolsita. You know,
Saca la bolsita, mano.
exactly, man. And you know, I remember this wasn't, man, I started my channel just a few months ago, and seeing you get into the mix and seeing you just surfing YouTube channels. What is it that brings you to YouTube, that makes you go into these channels? Because you seem like a very intelligent individual, a man of many talents, a man doing many, many big things. But I see you in a lot of these lives. I see you giving a lot of support to the people, and we respect that. And man, we embrace that, and it's reciprocated right back. So what brings you to YouTube and surfing these channels? Are you looking for the next big thing? Or are you, you know, just basically, is it some fun for you? You know, something that you do in your downtime?
It's all of those things. You know what I mean? Like, one, I don't have social media, right? So I have no Instagram, Facebook, like none of that stuff. And so I use YouTube as my vision into the world to see what's popping. And I'll go on it for a few hours a day, and I get attracted to channels that I like. And like, you know, I grew up with Raza in Moreno Valley. That's where I grew up. You know, I was born in Fullerton. I moved to Moreno. Well, it was called Sunnymead when I moved there in 1983. I was 3 years old, and I was basically raised there. And so I've been surrounded by Raza my entire life. So there's a lot of love. So when I'm seeing channels, and I like to listen, because, you know, to be honest, being from the Inland Empire in Southern California, even though I grew up with Raza, I'm also privy to a lot of the racial issues between Blacks and Southern Raza mainly, right? And so I would see channels where people are talking about that, and like, you know, and these certain issues, and, you know, the how both, you know, ethnicities live so close together and share a lot of the same culture and all that, but at the same time be at odds. So that would interest me. And then I would listen to channels, and then, you know, when you click on one channel, they'll say other users like this, and you know what I mean? And so I'll start going, and that's how I just started finding these channels. And, you know, the ones I like, I always go and support.
Absolutely, we appreciate you. Rojo, you got something for Mr. Caleeb?
Yeah, Caleeb, man, just for our listeners out there, man, why don't you tell us what you have going on right now on the big screen world, my man?
Man, listen, Rojo, what's so crazy is the stuff that I have is so wide ranging, right? So I'll tell you. So I have a Christmas movie that Paramount, we're about to make with Paramount. They'll probably start shooting in October of this year, but it's a kid's Christmas movie with the YouTube star JoJo Siwa, right? The only reason why I know about her is because I got a 9-year-old little girl who goes crazy for JoJo. So I had this project that I wanted to get done, and my daughter showed me a JoJo Siwa video, and I'm like, oh, that's the star. I need her. So I found out through back channel, found her, She loved this, the book that I got. We hired a writer, got the script written, Paramount bought it. They're like, let's make it. So like, I'm doing a kid's Christmas movie, right? That's
right.
my next movie. Cobra Kai season 5 we start shooting in August of this year, right? In Atlanta. Then I got a TV show at FX called Corruption Officer about a dude who becomes, starts working in Rikers Island and slowly gets corrupted. Just think Breaking Bad in a jail. You know what I mean? So, it's like, I got gangster stuff. I even got a superhero show on Amazon. That's all for Brazil. So it's with Amazon Brazil. It's all in Portuguese. I don't speak Portuguese for nothing, but I got a show out there. You know what I mean? That's about to go to series. So like, I just got things going, and I got a lot of stuff in
your hands are everywhere. That's right.
Yeah, man. But that's how you got to do it, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like they ain't putting me in no box.
Well, thanks for finding time to get on here, man. That sounds like a full deck right there, boy.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. That's cool, man. How are you digging that Cobra Kai, man? 5th season. I see, man.
Man, listen.
That's good. You're winning.
People fucking love that show, man.
They do.
Like, I would have never thought, right? I knew it was good. I liked it, but I didn't think it would become what it's become. Like, it's its own thing. Like,
I was skeptical when it dropped,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people were. But we're about to be 5 seasons in, man. We just wrapped season 4. That will come out in the fall while we're shooting season 5.
Nice, man. Nice. How old were you when you decided that you were going to be an actor, when you were going to pursue this lifestyle, directing, production, all that? When did that interest you? How old were you?
Well, I was a kid because, my sister, she started modeling when she was real young. But Jada and I grew up in different coasts. She grew up in Baltimore. I grew up on the West Coast. So when I would come out to visit our father and our grandparents, and I'd be with my sister, I'm seeing pictures of her everywhere around the city in Baltimore, in the subway. She's a model. And I'm like, wow. Then she started doing plays. She was a ballerina. So I've been around entertainment. And then when she broke into acting, I was 11 years old when my sister was on A Different World in 1991. And it just went from there. When you see somebody close to you doing stuff, it doesn't seem like a pipe dream or like, oh, that's, you know what I mean? It's right there. It's right there in front of you. You could do it. So ever since then, I knew I wanted to get into the entertainment. At first, I wanted to be an actor, right? I wanted to act. But what I realized, I love story way more. Like I love creating, like hearing an idea, making it better, figuring out how to make it work,
building it up.
Yeah, man. Like I really love producing, and I think I want to be a director. I think before I leave this world, God willing, I will be a director. I just love.
Oh yeah, you
so
will.
Much.
There's nothing that's going to slow you down. I could tell already, my man. No doubt.
Yeah.
Most definite. Definitely. Quick question, Caleb. Quick question, and Flocka, we'll bring you into the fold here in a minute because I know you're a man of many questions. So me and you, man, we hit it off. We've chopped it up, man. We've gotten each other's DMs, and we've just talked, man. And we're both a big fans of pop culture. And for those fans out there that don't know what pop culture is, the viewers, man, we take it back to the 80s, 90s, and what I like, and it's music, it's TV shows, it's people in general. And man, I think that me and you really hit it off on. I mean, there's just things that we have in common, shows and things that me and you could sit there and we could talk about all day that people don't. It's not really relevant to people and people don't hit on, but you know me, everyone that knows me knows that I like to put certain lines from different movies into my little spills. And man, I thought it was just a trip that me and you hit it off on that, man, especially about the Teen Wolf and things like that. I know you're a big pop culture fan, man. What were some of the shows growing up that you, growing up as a youngster, you used to pay attention to?
Wow, like the shows, oh my gosh, because I was at home so much because my mom worked all the time. So like Webster, when I was real young, I loved Webster. There was a show called Small Wonder with Vicky the Robot and shit. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? There was I used to watch Punky Brewster, of course. That's what made me laugh today when you talked about that. Out of This World. There was this show with this girl who could stop time with her fingers and shit like this. And like, I would watch that shit as a kid. Alf. And then as I got older, it was all about Family Matters, Full House, Step by Step, all of those types of like TV shows that TGIF Foundation and World, Wonder Years, fucking Simpsons, like all that shit.
Definitely. Yeah. Hey, I myself was on that same trip, was on that same boat, Caleb. I was sitting there right there watching Alf and Married with Children and Family Matters, of course. Everybody didn't
The A-Team. You can't forget about the A-Team.
Oh, the A-Team, of course. Yeah.
Oh, B.A. Baracus.
And shit.
Oh, B.A. and Hannibal.
Yeah,
what about,
I used to watch Knight Rider.
Knight Rider, yeah.
What about MacGyver?
Airwolf.
Your bag. Is that your bag?
Yeah, we used to watch MacGyver, The Fall Guy, things like that.
Fuck yeah.
Definitely, yeah. And see that's a big influence in my life, and I always use that in my everyday living. You know, I remember where I grew up. I remember these things, not necessarily the gang banging and all that, but just to sit down on that Saturday morning and watch Captain Caveman or things like that.
Captain Caveman,
something I know that as a people from different races, from different generations, that we all sat down and were doing all at once. Then we'd go out there in the streets and do what we had to do. But we all seen that new episode of Full House, you know. Everyone's seen what Kimmy Giggler was up, or what was her name? Kimmy Gibbler was up
Gibbler,
to.
yeah.
So another question. So I see that you went straight to YouTube with Cobra Kai. Now, how did that work out? I never seen that done before with the show going straight to YouTube. I've seen Netflix, I've seen Amazon, I've seen things of that nature. But going straight to YouTube, what was the experience with that, and how did it generate numbers? You know, I know it's doing great.
Well, what happened was YouTube was just just created YouTube Red at the time, and YouTube Red was, you know, their pay channel, right, where you subscribe, and they offered us the 10 episodes right there in the room. Like, Netflix wanted us to write a pilot, and then they would decide if they would do it. And a pilot is just like write a script and they'll read it and see if they want to make the show or not. But they weren't guaranteeing us a series. YouTube Red said, we love this. We want it right now, straight to series. So I was like, hell yeah. You can wait to try to get at the baddest hyena at the party, but if you got you a cool one who's saying, let's go right now, a wise man once said,
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You go where you want it. And so that's what we did. And then YouTube Red went under, where Google wasn't going to do that anymore. They were like, we're just going to stick to regular YouTube. We're not going to pay, you know, for this, because it was costing money. So the show, we had to find a new home for the show. And it's so funny how things come back around. Netflix was like, bring it here. We'll do it right now. And they took it, and, you know, they did, they gave us season 4. And then before, we were in episode 2 of season 4, and they said, we're greenlighting season 5. People are going to love this. Like, let's go. So we're like, hell yeah. But that's really how it happened. It was very new at the time. I got a lot of flack from people telling me, like, you're stupid. Why would you pass on Netflix and go to an unproven place? But I'm like, I'd rather be a big fish in a small pond. You know what I mean? Like, let us be their main thing. And we did 24 million views in less than a day with the first episode on YouTube Red. It brought so much traffic to them. So, you know, it started off kicking, and it hasn't stopped.
And how was it? Like, because we know that it's based off a spinoff, basically based off of the Karate Kid, which was crazy in our time, crazy. How was it getting in contact with these actors, such as the one that plays, you know, the villain in the movie, as well as Ralph Macchio? These guys, I mean, was it like a nostalgia? Did it bring back memories just being in the same room with these guys? You know, as you know. Oh
yeah, especially when you're talking about the showrunners, the guys who created the show and write the show, John, Josh, and Hayden. Shout out to my boys, they killing it. They are Karate Kid aficionados. You know what I mean? Like, they know fucking everything. Like, okay, what was the soda that they were drinking when they went to the golf? You're like, what the fuck? They're like, it was Fanta, dumbass. See, you're not a real Karate Kid fan. Like, they're like that. They know everything. So they were geeking out with Billy and Ralph, and that's what made Billy and Ralph so much more into it. They see how much these guys love the world that they were in. and especially Ralph, he was so touched by how much they loved his character and what that movie and the subsequent films did for their lives. And they created a brilliant show. The idea of following Johnny Lawrence 30 years after the kick that changed his life, right? It's almost like it's a funnier version, or it's a funny version of what happened to Meldrick Taylor when he fought Julio Cesar Chavez. He was winning. Did at the last second, got dropped. Richard Steele called the fight, and Meldrick Taylor never was the same. Never was the same. Started smoking, getting strung out on drugs. Like his whole life went to shit after that, right? So it's similar to what happened with Johnny Lawrence, that character. His life went to shit, except he got a chance for revenge. And that was why he wanted to recreate Cobra Kai and challenge Danny LaRusso to a rematch.
I think it's great. Put him in a body bag.
Yeah.
Hey, Flacco, man, I see Flacco's there in the airport, man. I know you have some questions for Mr. Pinkett.
Yeah. First and foremost, want to apologize to you guys. You guys know there's a little distraction out here, man. I was picking up my bags and walking through the airport at the same time while this meeting started. My first question for Pinkett would be this: as far as this YouTube genre thing, right? The prison gangs, the gang environment, gang culture, and the positive message we're trying to promote. What advice can you give to channels like ours to take this to a whole nother level?
You know what? I would say you keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing actually is kind of new. Like, you don't see too many ex-gang members or not banging anymore, talking about their past and then reflecting on what not to do. You have people that are historians and will give you this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. Cool. But nobody's actually telling you what happened and then why not to do what I was doing, right? But at the same time, you guys do it in a way where you're not hating on the dudes that are still out there banging, doing that. It's like you understand it, but you're like, there's a different way. And I think that's so needed right now, because the way that the world is changing, everything is changing right now. You know what I mean? All our cultures are changing. The world is. So to see something like that, I think to what you guys are doing, I think is going to be of major help to a lot of people. And it won't just be Raza, because it's not just Raza that watches your channel. Just look at me, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you guys are really helping people. And as you continue, I think you'll find other areas that you can do and have fun in it, and to show, gangsters like this too. Gangsters can do this too. You know what I mean? Like it's just, to me, it's really cool. Like I heard the other day Rojo talking about, well, I'm gonna get on the grill, and somebody gave me some money, I'm gonna do some wings and some ribeye, and like you could do a whole fucking cooking shit. Look, today we gonna make this. I'm gonna show y'all how to get down. This is like, you'd be surprised that people just be interested in it, because people buy into people. People think, oh, they buy into this or that. Nah, man, people only recognize people. That's why your channels are growing the way that they are, because your audience is tapping into you. It's not about everything that what you're talking about. It's who you are, and it's your delivery. It's your energy that they get through that screen. And I'm telling you, man, it's gonna keep growing, and keeping the message positive is paramount, because people can't wait to be negative. As you'll see comments coming up, people talking, oh, fuck that, this is that. It's like, Spencer, get out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not about that. So I think you guys continue to keep it positive and continue staying in that creative space. You're going to find so many other avenues that you guys, will find, that you'll see that people will respond to. You know what I'm saying? But I think you guys are doing a great job right now, man, for real.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I got another question, right? One I've been wondering for 30 years, right? You see, like, as far back as American Me, Blood In, Blood Out, Mi Vida Loca, Shot Caller, right? You see all these different groups that, Southern Hispanic based, their culture down south. You see about the Woods, the whites, the Aryan Brotherhoods. When is there going to be when is Hollywood going to actually pick up something that has to do with the Northern Hispanics and the Northern Hispanic culture up north, and show us in a whole different light? Because when I watch those movies like American Me, a bunch of lame farmers from up north, or You know, the shot caller one, oh, get that buster, get that farmer. They don't portray us in the light of how we represented ourselves behind the wall. I know Gunner agrees with me, and I know Rojo agrees with me on that. So when do you think there's going to be a time when they actually show the Northern California Rasta culture?
Well, I think it'll come when there's a story that is brought, right? The reason why American Me got made is because Edward James Olmos took it on his shoulders and delivered it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And he paid a big price for that shit too. A lot of, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that, and to be honest, some those things kind of hurt the next versions and more stuff in that world. Because listen, when you got a producer that lives in Encino, he's not trying to be worried about people coming out of bushes because he made a movie. You know what I mean? So it's like that kind of stuff it can turn some of the higher ups off. But I think when the story comes that can be made, that has here's what the story is, and I mean a beginning, middle, and end, great emotional characters that you can buy into, where you can see yourself in and recognize and bring that. I think it will absolutely happen. It's just all about timing with stuff. You know, Blood In, Blood Out was directed by Taylor Hackford. Taylor Hackford's a white man. His wife is Helen Mirren. You know, the old white lady from London, that's his wife. That's who Taylor Hackford is. He directed that movie. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you got to have the story, and then to the person or the people that can push it through. Like that's just how it's done. But everything starts with the creative. What's the idea? What's the story? Who we following? You know what I mean? It's really simple. It's easier said than done, but it's like, you know, tell me the story. You know, it's like, who's the person, and tell me the story. And then you can make a film or a television series out of it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Makes total sense right there. Okay, I got one more question too, right? So with all the racial overtones of stuff that's been going on the last few years with police brutality and all that, it's been affecting both the African-American communities, the Mexican-American communities, the Chicano culture and all that, right? There's been a lot of different things. How can we bridge this gap instead of being in conflict out there in the street or having separate causes or separate movements and be on one direct plight forward?
Well, listen, that is a deep question, because it goes into so many facets. There's issues on both sides with each other, right? And so that's an issue just in that. Then there's a lot of Blacks that feel like, oh, well, Mexicans don't rock with us, so who, you know, that's they worry about themselves. We'll do our thing, right? You got Mexicans that are like, all Blacks do is complain. They're always marching and crying. We just work hard, right? If we don't complain, Rasta don't complain, we just work. Okay, but we're not gonna get anything done that way. You know what I mean? It's like you can't move forward if everybody is still digging their boots in to be one way, or, oh, I don't like them, I don't like that. It's like when we all recognize that we are all in the same boat, when you're, and here's the deal. People always take it to ethnicity. I don't say race because there's only one race, and that's the human race. But there's definitely different ethnicities, right? And when you have different people, they always want to take it to their ethnicity and stick to their own, which I understand, and there's no issue with that. But the real divide in America has nothing to do with the color of your skin or your religion. You know what it does? With your fucking bolsita. How much money do you got? That's the divide. It's all about green. Poor people over there. Rich people over there. You see what I'm saying? And when you got money, they don't give a fuck what you look like. You got money, you can eat with us. You broke, you go over there. And it doesn't matter the color of your skin. And that's the real divide. It's the divide between the haves and the have-nots. And so once people understand that and get off this tribalism shit, man, it's going to be a force to be reckoned with, because there's only 10% of Americans, it's probably less than that, make over $100,000 a year. 10%, there's 350 million people. Everybody else makes less than that. You see what I'm saying? So there's a huge divide. And once that is recognized, I think there will be a major revolution in not only in our country, but in the world.
I agree, man. It might have used to been ethnic based, years ago. Right now, it's all about social status, man. 100%. You hit it right on the nose, boy.
Yes, sir. That's the real truth. Yep. You get blinded with racial shit because they try to make it.
They try to force feed it to you.
Yeah. But it's to me, I call it wicked wisdom. It's when they confuse you. It's what they call a MacGuffin in a TV show or a movie. Focus on this. So you're looking over here while they're really doing the shit over there. Yeah. That's you know what I mean? That's how it's done, man. For real.
And I have a question. So as you see, like with our different channels, what's going on YouTube, where we're dealing with a lot of these issues that are happening now, as far as gangs uniting, trying to come to some peace terms, things like that. And me, myself, as well as Rojo, and there's a lot of other channels, from down south. We're all trying to pioneer this. We're all trying to, get unity. As you can tell by my lives, I get the people I get them interested. We have fun. It's a big old party. But it's a lot of guys that would have never mixed and mingled ever in their lives together, all with common understandings and common questions and respect. Mm-hmm. I like that. So without questioning, but just saying, I want us to reiterate what you said. Yeah, it's all about the haves and have-nots. Absolutely. But I see people coming together as a whole slowly but surely. It's going to take time, but it can happen. It's possible. And as long as you have faces and voices out there pushing that people respect, it can happen. So one other question, Caleeb, for me, it's I know this question is going to open a whole can of worms. So I know, what kind of influence was your sister and your brother-in-law on you? Because everybody knows him. I know him, elephant in the room. What kind of influence have they had on you?
Oh, good question. A major influence, because what a lot of people don't understand, people think they know, right? So because who my sister is, my brother-in-law is, people just like, oh, he must be super rich. Oh, he gets everything. Oh, it's easy for him. Oh, everything is given. Bull fucking shit, man. Like them dudes right there, they ain't giving you shit. They don't give you nothing that you don't earn, and they make you earn it. And like they have no problem letting other people who aren't family be in charge of you and tell you what to do. I was taking people's luggage and shit, dragging luggage, going to pick people up from airports, taking them, buying food, doing all types of shit, like straight gopher status for years, because they like to break the feeling of any sort of entitlement, but I learned a lot of the hard work ethic. Let me tell you something. That Will is one of the hardest working men I've ever seen in my life. And I mean, it's on a different level. It's on a different level. And it inspired me to want to be like that. Not famous, not crazy rich, but there's a level of discipline and go get itness, if that's a word, it is now, that he has that I've never, that's unparalleled. So I learned a lot of work ethic. I learned, I learned my whole business model. Like he taught me this entire business, like how the business works, the ins and outs. I was on his hip for like 5 years straight I couldn't even talk in the meetings. I'd be in the meetings with the biggest motherfuckers in this game. I'm talking to people that are running the studios, biggest writers, biggest directors, all that. Silence. Punk. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was, and until he felt I was ready to take it to the next level. And once he did, he was like, all right, you go over here and you work and figure it out. And I'm talking any issue I had, he would tell me this. I would say, yo, this isn't working. This isn't working. This person isn't calling me back. This person isn't letting me join the meeting. He said, listen, here's the deal. You either figure it out or I'm going to find somebody else who can. Darling. So when you're out there thinking, oh, he gets everything, it's easy for him because his last name is Pinkett, shit, you probably ain't had nobody, saying, if somebody in your family told you that, you're like, yeah, that's what my hefe told me before he fucking bounced. You know what I mean? Like some fucked up shit like that. But that's their way of teaching. You know what I mean? Because Will always says, I could give you something or I could teach you how to do it. If I give it to you, you're going to be broke. If I teach you how to do it, you'll always be able to eat. It's like to teach a man how to fish. And he really believes that. And it's actually true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rojo, you got another question or?
All right, man. I know you got to meet Pac, man. What was Pac like?
Oh man, he was exactly the way I wanted him to be. He was exactly the way that anybody out there who's ever listened to his music, ever seen an interview, seen his movies would imagine him to be. He was.
What you see is what you get, huh?
Yeah, man.
That's
Will
right.
is that way too. Like there's certain people that have that energy. And Pac was not a joke. Like he wasn't putting anything on. That really was who he was. You know what I mean? And to be honest, part of that is why he lost his life in the way that he did, because he rode. If you was down with him, he's down with you, no matter. He didn't give a fuck that he was Tupac. He's like, I'm a real one. They did what? Fuck them niggas. We on them. We bout it, right? And stuff like, and he was doing that shit. That motherfucker shot 2 cops. They were undercover, like off-duty cops. He didn't know they were cops, but he still shot 2 motherfuckers because he saw them tripping on a black dude down in Atlanta. He's fucking Tupac. You should have been like, damn, that's fucked up. Somebody should call the police. No, he grabbed his heater and handled his business, right? So that's a different type of dude. And it wasn't like he was trying to be hard and gangster. He just was. It's just who he was, like his love for his people and people that rocked with him. He died for you. And that was his thing. You know what I mean? That's why he was so upset over what he felt Big did, or what he perceived that to be, or anybody in the game that ever just even said anything remotely negative. He would just nuke them because that's just how he was. He was so passionate. So, it was so great meeting that dude. I got to meet him one time in my life, like, because I was young and he started getting in trouble and stuff and all that. And he died when I was 16 years old. Pac died in 1996. I was 16 on my way to Disneyland with the homies. Shout out. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so yeah, that was crazy.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Hey, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your time, bro, getting on here with us. I know that you're a man, a businessman, and your time is very precious and very valuable. So we really highly appreciate you, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Again, you're an absolute friend to the channels, man. We appreciate you highly, and if anything, we extend our hand for anything. What you think? One more question. What you think about this boxing match coming up? Who you got?
Come on now. I'm rocking with the gun. You know what I'm saying? I'm rocking with the gun. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait.
That's right.
I'm gonna be there.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I was telling you on the live today. They said, hey, come drink with us and all this. I was like, hey, no. I had to super chat you. Fuck that. No. Keep the Sylvesters to a minimum. Like remember the white boy in colors, the redhead that was a cholo? And he was all fucked up, and they talked to the black dude. They said, what happened? He said, too many cervezas, Holmes. Like, we don't want that shit. You win, gotta be right. You gotta go in there and do that thing. Hit him with the boom, ping, ping,
Definitely. Hey, I like how in that movie, how they reversed it on him. Hey, old Frog, he was a cold character. Old Pecos didn't do nothing. He was doing like that. He was getting hit. Hey, they had to do the white boy bad in that movie. Hey, we got to get ours back, right? Tenfold.
That's right. Yes, sir. Right. Yes, sir.
Anyways, we appreciate you, man. Highly from Gunners Collective. I'm gonna let the guys do a little outro with you, man. And I appreciate you, Caleeb. We're gonna stay in constant contact. It's just what we do, homie.
Absolutely. I should have put my chains on tonight. I forgot I was coming on with the gun. I should have brought out the jewels, baby.
Don't do me like that.
Hey, right on, Caleeb, man. I appreciate you, my dude. And man, it's always a pleasure, man. We enjoy seeing you in the chats. Every time I see you, I'm like, that's the dude. And man, keep doing what you're doing, man, because everything you're doing is successful right now. And I know you're gonna keep it up, bro. I can tell by your energy, my man.
Hey, listen, your lips to God's ears, and I will keep trying. You know what I'm saying? It is not easy, but we will keep it pushing. And look, much love to you guys. I really appreciate all the love that you guys show me, and just I'm a big supporter of what you guys are doing. I think it's extremely important, to unite the raza. And I'm pulling for you guys to make sure that all of that comes to fruition. But again, shouts out to your channels, Convicts Perspective, Gunners Collective, all that. I love it, love it, love it.
Thank you. All right,
yeah,
man.
And you know what, Flacco? I know we haven't talked much, but listen, I appreciate you, and I love all the lady on the speaker in the background. It just gives us more credibility.
Hey,
I appreciate that, Caleeb, man. Hey, I just want to say, man, I'm a big fan of your show, Cobra Kai. You know what I mean? Man, it's a great thing to see that you're supporting us, man. And the effort that you came on the show and answered some questions that we had for you, man. We look forward to meeting up with you and maybe do some other things. Just want to give a shout out to everybody that listens to this channel, man. Keep supporting what we're doing, man. We're trying to promote a positive message, man. It's your boy Flacco.
That's right. Put him in a body bag.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Team Gunner.
All right.
All right, you guys, man. Appreciate you.
Perfect, man.